To understand the world, one must first understand its oceans, for they are the arteries of commerce, the guardians of climate, and the wellspring of humanity's shared future. Welcome to Nimasa This Week, your window into the Nigerian maritime frontier. I remain your regular anchor on the show, Moyioluwa Olutayo. Join us as we navigate the currents of progress, one wave at a time. I will be right back.
Introducing the new face of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, Nimasa. We are charting the direction for a maritime and regulating the industry for a better, bigger, and more economically stable Nigeria. Evolved to serve you better. We are Nimasa. New face, rejuvenated service. Nimasa, changing the tides in your favor.
Once again, we are glad to have all our esteemed viewers with us on today's episode of Nimasa This Week. And if you're just joining us, you're right on time. The Federal Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy is working tirelessly to develop policies, infrastructure, and partnerships to move the nation forward. Nigeria's marine and blue economy sector holds vast potential for growth, development, and prosperity. Join us as we take you on a voyage of how the ministry is working to create a thriving blue economy that benefits all Nigerians. I'll be right back.
The Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, His Excellency Dr. Adegboyega Oyetola, CON, recently presented the budget proposal for the Federal Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy for the 2026 fiscal year before a joint sitting of the Senate Committee on Maritime Transport and the House of Representatives Committee on Ports and Harbors, Maritime Safety, Education Administration, Shipping Services, Inland Waterways, and Ocean and Fisheries. In defending the budget, the minister explained that the Federal Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy oversees interconnected subsectors including ports, shipping, inland waterways, fisheries, and aquaculture, which collectively handle over 90% of Nigeria's international trade by volume, with obvious implications to national and food security.
There have been administrative and budgetary misalignment with respect to the Council for the Regulation of Freight Forwarding in Nigeria. Although the Council is under the supervision of the Federal Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy, the 2026 budget commission continues to reflect under the Federal Ministry of Transportation. This misalignment creates a volume of ambiguity in oversight, accountability, and policy priorities. This will result in strengthening regulation in the maritime industry of the chain.
Oyetola also noted that the agencies under the ministry, including the Nigerian Ports Authority, Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, and Nigerian Shippers Council, were self-funding amid significant remittance to the Consolidated Revenue Fund.
Three agencies, FDA, Nimasa, and NSC, are fully self-funded and make substantial remittances to the Consolidated Revenue Fund. Other agencies include the NOAA,
On inland waterways, the minister appealed for increased funding for safety initiatives aimed at curbing accidents and loss of lives, while stating that the waterways transport was globally recognized as being significantly cheaper than road transport, with a need for increased awareness in order for more commuters to come on board.
Inland waterways serve as critical transport corridors in about 20 states of the Federation, particularly for benign and hard-to-reach communities, where water transport is one of the primary means of movement for people, agricultural produce, and goods. However, recurrent accidents and loss of lives on these waterways continue to highlight the consequences of underinvestment in safety infrastructure, navigation aids, surveillance, enforcement, and public awareness. Strengthening safety of inland waterways is therefore not optional. It is essential to protecting lives, restoring confidence in water transport, and supporting economic activities in this region.
On his part, the chairman of the Senate Committee on Maritime Transport, Senator Wasiu Eshilokun, assured that the National Assembly would carefully examine the minister's proposals, noting the strategic importance of marine and blue economy to national development and economic resilience.
This process is not intended to hinder the operations of government institutions, but rather to strengthen fiscal discipline, promote value for money, and ensure that public funds are efficiently harnessed and deployed in line with national priorities. We are gathered here today specifically to examine, interrogate, and defend the 2026 budget of the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy.
Nigeria, a maritime nation with 853 kilometers of coastline, 10,000 kilometers of inland waterways, and a commanding presence along the Gulf of Guinea.
This vast blue economy is not just potential, it's powering trade, security, and sustainability for Nigeria and the entire region. Nigeria is fully aligned with the International Maritime Organization's vision for safer, greener, and more secure seas.
Nigeria is actively implementing a marine litter action plan to protect its waters and enhance sustainable ocean governance. In recent years, it has ratified key IMO instruments covering maritime safety, training for fishing vessel personnel, and pollution response, while securing presidential assent for 3 more conventions on ship recycling, liability limits, and passenger safety.
But trade and tourism thrive only where there is maritime security. Once a piracy hotspot, the Gulf of Guinea is now safer, thanks largely to Nigeria's Deep Blue project, led by Nimasa in partnership with the Nigerian Navy and other regional architecture.
Combining satellite surveillance, air and sea assets, and an advanced command and control center, the Deep Blue project has helped reduce piracy incidents in Nigerian waters to 0 and, by extension, significantly across the wider region.
At the core of Nigeria's maritime transformation is the Lekki Deep Sea Port, the first fully automated port in Nigeria and one of the most advanced in West Africa. It can handle 2.5 million TEUs annually, easing congestion, reducing dwell time, and revolutionizing logistics for African trade.
Next to Lekki Port sits the Dangote Refinery, Africa's largest, with a capacity of 650,000 barrels per day. This massive infrastructure is redefining maritime logistics in the region.
As a coastal state, Nigeria is investing in sustainable maritime solutions, including green port infrastructure, energy-efficient vessels, and the use of climate-friendly CNG-powered trucks to reduce greenhouse gas emissions.
But infrastructure alone is not enough. Nigeria is building people. Through the Nigerian Seafarers Development Program, over 2,200 cadets have been trained, many with global standard certifications.
Training partnerships with some countries continue to grow. Maritime academies in Nigeria are better equipped for training. Nigeria also supports gender inclusion in maritime professions, empowering more women to thrive in the blue economy.
Nigeria's maritime sector is more than shipping lanes and oil platforms. It is a source of jobs, tourism, trade, energy, and national pride.
Ecotourism on our Atlantic coast to clean shipping and digital port solutions.
Nigeria is not just sailing ahead, we're bringing others along.
We are partnering for a safer, greener, and inclusive maritime future.
Introducing the new face of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, Nimasa. We are charting the direction for a maritime and regulating the industry for a better, bigger, and more economically stable Nigeria. Evolved to serve you better. We are Nimasa. New face, rejuvenated service. Nimasa, changing the tides in your favor.
The agency has announced that it is considering expanding upon the integrated national security and waterways protection infrastructure due to its positive impact, which has been felt not just in Nigeria, but across the Gulf of Guinea maritime area to global recognition. The agency Director General, Dr. Dayo Moberela, made this known during a strategic visit to the Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Idi Abbas, at the Naval Headquarters, Abuja, on Thursday. Dr. Moberela, while commending the Navy for their harmonious collaboration with Nimasa, made the case for the Deep Blue project expansion on the need to ensure sustainability and greater impact, with the Director General noting that its impact resonates globally with the International Maritime Organization and global maritime nations, commending its role in improving security in the region. Dr. Moberela also congratulated the Chief of Operations, Nigerian Navy, Rear Admiral Musa Katugum, who joined the Nimasa Governing Board as the Navy's representative. Responding to the Nimasa Director General, the Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Idi Abbas, commended the agency for the good work it is doing in the maritime sector and its continued support to the Nigerian Navy. He also noted some concerns, which include the MOU between Nimasa and the Nigerian Navy, which has been in place since 2007 and should be revisited. The Deep Blue project is a comprehensive maritime security initiative by the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency designed to secure Nigerian waters and the Gulf of Guinea, launched to combat piracy, armed robbery, and illegal activities. It utilizes integrated land, sea, and air assets, including vessels, aircraft, and a 24/7 command center to protect maritime assets and personnel.
C4I is command, control, communication, computer, and intelligence. We monitor bases 24 hours. We use a hybrid system in the sense that it consists of Nimasa staff, Nigerian Army, Nigerian Navy, Nigerian Air Force, Nigerian Police, and DSS all together. We operate 24/7. There is a 6-hour shift. After the set of staff that you see, after 6 hours, another set of staff will come and take over from the current set of staff. The reason behind the establishment of C4I Center is to curtail the piracy and other maritime activities like kidnapping, like drug and oil bunkering and other maritime crime in the Nigerian exclusive economic zone. Well, we have land asset, we have air asset, and we have maritime assets. Land asset, like the command and control center that you are in, is part of our land asset. And we have jetties, we have training facilities, both here in Kirikiri, in Ojo, Naval Command Center, Ojo, and we have others in LLA, Port Harcourt. Then we have air asset. We have 3 helicopters, we have 2 aircrafts, we have UAVs, we have 4 UAVs. Then we have maritime asset. We have 2 vessels, DV Lagos and DV Abuja. We have 17 interceptor boats, and we have 16 musketeers, that is armored vehicles that used to enter creeks. And we have a maritime security unit, about 360 well-trained combatants. Yes, in the center, we have 3 sub-units. We have C4I unit, we have mission system equipment unit, and we have intelligence unit as well. Each monitor that you see here contains 1 system operator. 1 system operator will be using 2 monitors to do his daily activities. We have 4 C4I systems in the center. Then we have an intelligent operator here. What you are seeing here, the yellow are the vessels that are in our Nigerian exclusive economic zone and beyond, up to the Gulf of Guinea. But for now, we set our system on the Nigerian exclusive economic zone, which is Nigerian EEZ. This system gives us area visit, port call, dark activity, pest visit, ship to ship, course deviation, signal loss, transmission area, MMSI change, ETA change, destination change. This system, when you want to check vessel of interest, maybe we can check all the port calls in Nigeria as at today. This is one of the systems that we call mission system equipment. Mission system equipment give us real-time position of all our air asset and land asset. We communicate with all our air assets, both the helicopter and aircraft and UAVs. We communicate with them. We will see them real time. One of them is BHF and one of them is HF. We communicate, this one we communicate with our asset directly so that there is no interference. And this one we communicate with any vessels within Nigerian exclusive economic zone. With this satellite phone, we can communicate with all our assets all over the world. Anywhere our asset is, we can communicate with it.
In furtherance of the agency's commitment to strengthening Nigeria's shipbuilding and shipyard subsectors as part of the efforts to deepen the role of the blue economy to the country's development, the agency has hosted a stakeholders' breakfast meeting under the theme Dissecting the Issues, Challenges, and Prospects in the Shipbuilding Segment, discussing funding models, incentives, and policy support for shipyard growth. The event, which held at the Nigerian Maritime Resource Development Center, Kirikiri, Lagos, at the welcome address delivered by the Executive Director Operations, Nimasa, Engineer Fatai Taye Adeyemi, who noted that shipbuilding remains a capital-intensive and technically demanding sector that requires deliberate policy and financial intervention to achieve sustainable growth. Engineer Adeyemi, who was represented by the Director Marine Environment Management, Dr. Omar Ofodele, explained that the gathering was designed to provide a clear assessment of the structural challenges confronting the shipbuilding segment and to collectively agree on pragmatic funding models, incentives, and policy options capable of driving competitive shipyard growth in Nigeria.
We are aware that shipyards are pivotal to the maritime decarbonization. And so this places a kind of huge burden on their shoulders to ensure that energy-efficient vessels are being constructed to match with the emerging trends. So it's a whole complex issue that we believe that the discussion here today will at least give us a way forward on all this. Today we will identify and evaluate funding models, trade-offs, incentives, industrial policy levers, implementation issues, policy design, stakeholders engagement opportunities together.
The keynote address was then delivered by the chairman of Stats Investment Company Limited, Engineer Greg Ogbeifo, who commended the federal government for the creation of the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy, describing it as a strategic step towards unlocking the full potential of the maritime sector.
So today we are in a situation where in our country we have approximately about 8,000 ships of different sizes, specifications, capacity that are operating in our waters. So now most of them are working with the upstream side of the oil and gas industry. Then you have the downstream, the coastal tankers, the product tankers. All these 1,000 ships about operating in this one were all built out in this country. I don't need you to visualize the colossal economic loss in this country.
We must take that position in the Committee of Maritime Nations, that leading position. We have to start to think differently. It shouldn't be business as usual. We don't want to do it the way we have been doing it. We want to do it the way other countries that have been able to achieve this have been doing it, and they've been able to present themselves worthy.
Earlier in their goodwill messages, shipyard owners in Nigeria expressed willingness to collaborate with Nimasa to curb capital flight and build local capacity within the sector. They also emphasized the importance of targeted support, skills development, and policy stability to enable shipyards compete effectively.
Introducing the new face of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, Nimasa. We are charting the direction for a maritime and regulating the industry for a better, bigger, and more economically stable Nigeria. Evolved to serve you better. We are Nimasa. New face, rejuvenated service. Nimasa, changing the tides in your favor.
And it's a wrap on today's episode of Nimasa This Week. Thank you for joining us. Stay informed, stay engaged, and keep watching as we continue to bring you more stories and updates on the maritime sector, home and abroad. Until we come your way again next week, I remain your anchor, Moyioluwa Olutayo. Safe travels on land and at sea. Bon voyage.